Hello everyone! Today we're going to dive into the IELTS listening section. I'm going to give you important tips and strategies to help you improve your score. If you're struggling with the listening section, this video is for you. Before we get started, a quick reminder. This is the second video in our IELTS listening series. If you haven't watched part 1 yet, be sure to do so. Part 1 covers general preparation tips, while today we'll get into specifics. Let's get started. Tip 1. Read the questions instead of listening to the instructions. At the beginning of each listening section, you'll hear general test instructions. Don't listen to them. Instead, spend that time reading the questions. This advice seems simple, but you might be surprised at how many students do not follow it. On test day, they feel so stressed and unable to concentrate that they forget to read the questions or fail to understand what they read. Of course, people are different and react differently to stressful situations. However, since the listening section is the first section on test day, it's very easy to feel foggy and unable to think clearly. To avoid this problem, practice at home. When the general test instructions begin, go straight to the first set of questions. This will teach you to avoid being distracted by the speaker's voice. It'll also automate your actions and ensure that on test day, your body knows what to do, even if your mind goes blank. When you hear the speaker say, "Now turn to part 1, start listening." The instructions for part 1 will give you some context for the conversation you're about to hear. Tip 2. When answering completion questions, be sure to stay within the word limit. Read the instructions carefully. If it says one word only, read only one word, not a number. If you write a number or 2 words, even if one of them is correct, you'll still get 0 points for that answer. For example, how many cats are sitting on the fence? The answer 3 is correct. The answer 3 is incorrect because 3 is a number, not a word. The answer 3 cats is incorrect because it consists of 2 words. The answer 3 cats is also incorrect because it consists of a number and a word. If the instructions say one word and or a number, the situation is slightly different. Your answer can be a word, a number, or both, a word and a number. Let's look at the same example. How many cats are sitting on the fence? The answer 3 is correct. It is one word. The answer 3 is also correct. It's one number. The answer 3 cats is incorrect because it consists of 2 words. The answer 3 cats is correct because it is a number and a word. Tip 3. Predict your answers. As you read the questions, don't read them passively. Instead, imagine what the possible answer might be. For example, if it's a completion question, think about what kind of word the answer is. Is it a number? A name? Also think about the form of the word. Is it a noun, a verb, or an adjective? If it's a noun, what kind of noun is it? Is it a singular noun or a plural noun? This will help you identify the word as you listen to the recording. Look at this example of a completion question. The first answer is a number because it says how big the park is. The second answer is a countable noun because it has an indefinite article in front of it. The word is also likely to be some kind of body of water because it's an example of a wetland. And the other 2 examples are lakes and ponds. I can even guess the correct answer. It'll probably be a river or a stream, because what other body of water can you find in a park? Tip 4. Never rely too much on keywords. Always listen carefully to understand the context. For example, in completion questions, there are situations where the information in the recording is in a slightly different order than the information in the question. But don't get me wrong, the questions in the IELTS listening section are always in order. However, the order in which the information is given in a question may be different from the order in which you hear it in the recording. For example, music. Children make blank with natural materials and experiment with rhythm and speed. Looking at this question, you might expect to hear the answer before the speaker mentions natural materials, but this is not necessarily the case. The speaker can mention natural materials first and then mention the missing word. This is a trap that many students fall into. Tip 5. Be aware of traps. In the listening section, test makers often include traps. One of their favorites is to give you an answer that makes you think it is the correct answer, but it's not. For example, let's look at the same completion question. As we already know, question 1 is about the size of the park. The answer will be a number. Let's say the speaker in the recording says that the park is 10 acres. A student who hears this immediately writes down the number 10 and pats themselves on the back for getting it right. And that's when they fall into a trap. The speaker said 10 acres, not 10 hectares, so the answer is incorrect. If the student had continued to listen to the recording, he or she would have heard the speaker say 10 acres. That is 4 hectares. The correct answer is 4 because the question says hectares, not acres. The best way to avoid this trap is to be aware of it and listen carefully, even when you think you have the right answer. If you want to discover other common pitfalls, check out our new IELTS course, which is specially designed to help you prepare for the exam in just 2 weeks. Updated with new content, this course covers everything you need to know about listening, reading, speaking, and writing. Our main focus is on the writing section, often the most challenging part of the test. We'll show you how to write effective reports for writing task 1 and powerful essays for writing task 2. You'll expand your vocabulary, learn essential structures, and take your writing skills from basic to excellent. Our step-by-step explanations are accompanied by bright visuals and colorful graphics to make learning engaging and effective. For more details and to sign up, click on the link in the description. Tip 6. Pay attention to the order. The questions in the IELTS listening section are always in order, but the answer options are not. For example, in multiple choice questions, the answer options are in random order. This means that the speaker may talk about option C first and then option A. So keep this in mind and do not expect to hear the answer options in the order in which they appear in the question. Tip 7. For the map and plan completion questions, spend the preparation time analyzing the picture. The questions always come in order and are usually not paraphrased in the recording, so there is no need to overanalyze them. Instead, spend this time looking closely at a map or plan in front of you. Locate the entrances and facilities nearby. The speaker will most likely talk about them first. Also, note that the alphabetical order of the letters that mark the locations on the map has nothing to do with the order in which you'll hear them in the recording. Tip 8. For the map and plan completion questions, use the compass to help you distinguish between east and west. In the recording, the speaker will probably say something like, "to the east of the old stables," or "to the west of the lake." This can be confusing for those with a poor sense of direction. On test day, many students forget about the compass and try to remember which side is east and which side is west. This only causes them to lose time and miss the answer to the next question. So use the compass whenever you hear the words north, south, east, and west to choose the right answer and save time. Tip 9. For matching questions that come in this form, spend the preparation time analyzing the answer options instead of the questions. The thing is, this type of question gives you a lot of information to read, and many students start by reading the questions first. As a result, they do not have time to go through the answer options. Don't do that. You'll waste your time. Instead, spend your preparation time analyzing the answer options. The questions are always in order in the recording. They're easy to follow because most of the words in them are used in the recording. However, the answer options are heavily paraphrased, so you need to spend time analyzing them and trying to differentiate between them. Tip 10. Make a list of all the question types and the information about them. I mentioned this tip as one of the tips for the reading section. If you haven't watched it yet, you should. I gave many useful tips for high reading scores. Now, as you've seen from the previous tips, each type of question requires a different approach. Knowing how to approach each type can save you time during the test and increase your score. Therefore, you need to list all the question types and then write down all the information you have about each one. What should you include? Start with the name of the question type, followed by an example from a practice test. Then outline the strategy you'll use for that question type and list common mistakes. Leave some space for the last 2 categories, because you'll want to add more details as you practice. You can create these lists in your notebook or in Google Docs, making sure that each question type has its own page. While you can find similar resources online or in prep books, creating your own will help you remember and use the information better. That concludes our IELTS listening tips. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon to be notified when the next video comes out. If you have any questions or tips of your own, leave them in the comments. Be sure to check out part 1 of our listening tips series for even more insights. And remember, scoring high on the IELTS test is not an impossible feat. You can do it. See you all soon. Bye-bye.